Is architecture a good career for me? The short answer is yeah, architecture is a good career for you.
Let me inspire you.
I've been in the architecture industry for the last 10 years of my life. I started when I was 18. I've had my toes wet in small firms, large firms. I've done all types of work. Provide some insight if you're considering this architecture career path. It's a lot of work. Nothing's easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man.
I think it's a very, very rewarding one. But first, I'm gonna ask you guys hit the like, subscribe button, and show some love to the channel. Let's get into it, guys. So what is architecture? What do architects do? What is this career path that I'm talking about? Like, what exactly are we doing here? Architecture is the practice of designing buildings. We are not building anything physically, but we're designing the building itself. We're telling the people where the walls go. We're designing every little aspect. I mean, it can get very detailed, but that's basically the broad aspect. We're designing buildings, whether it's small, large. Everybody's inspiration for the industry varies. At some point, you consider becoming an architect, whether from friends, family, you've seen it, something inspired you, but the reason you're here is you're trying to figure out if this is for me. Here's some questions you should ask yourself about going forward. Number one, do you like being creative and designing things, whether it's backyard furniture, drawing, whatever the case may be, even graphic design? Do you like designing? Do you like buildings? What about buildings? Do you like making decisions on how things are laid out? Do you like the material? Do you like the window layout? Do you like low ceilings versus high ceilings, stuff like that? Do you like buildings for whatever the reason? Find out why. Number three, do you like challenges? Because the thing in architecture is no project's the same. There's never one that mimics the other. It's always a new project. It's never the redundant work of something else that you're doing. It's always something new, whether it's a new site, a new building. It's never the same thing. So do you like new challenges? Number four, do you like working with a team? Because being an architect, you don't do everything. You have to coordinate with consultants. Are you a team worker, or are you someone that likes to play around the corner by themselves? It's kind of a question you got to ask, because being an architect, you got to work with other people. It's a team sport. My last question I would ask myself is, why do I want to do this? Like, why am I intrigued in this field as opposed to being a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant? What brings me to this career path? Because architecture is going to open a door of possibilities. Maybe you don't become an architect, maybe you become an engineer or an interior designer, but what brings you so fascinated to this sector of work? And that can kind of answer some personal stuff that you got going on. Another aspect about the architecture industry that makes it a good career path is the diversity of work. The really cool thing about this career path is that no one job is the same, and the work is very unique. So you can work on airports, you can work on residential, you can work on commercial, restaurants, you can work on hotels, government projects, I mean, hospitals, the list goes on and on. There's no one field you need to sit within. You see a lot of custom residential firms, you see a lot of commercial only firms, you see a lot of mix between the two, but the point I'm trying to make is that the type of work that you can work on, or choose to work on, should I say, is so diverse.
It's pretty cool, pretty damn cool.
Whatever makes you happy, you can work on. If you like to be a custom home designer, I know some really good custom home designers that are just amazing, but if you try to tell them to do a restaurant, they don't know what they're doing. And that's okay. That's the cool thing about this career path, is that you're not limited to one type of work. You can choose what type of work you want to be in.
My options, sir.
If you want to become a restaurant brand architect, they have those. Starbucks has their own architects. McDonald's has their own architects. These people work specifically on them and not any other thing else. So you get the point. If you want to do residential work, you're going to learn a lot about residential finishes, window selection, furniture, color schemes, as opposed to hospitals where they're worried about the machinery, the layout of the room, a lot more technical analysis stuff compared to residential, where you get a little more crazier. It's all up to you at the end of the day what you decide to do and what type of work.
Whichever one you want, man. Whichever one you want.
Having the opportunity to choose a type of work is really unique in this career path, as opposed to other career paths where you might be limited. You have the ability to choose what type of work you want to work in. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Pay. How much do architects really make? Is it really worth the time and hassle going through the school and licensing and all that stuff? How much do we really get paid? Well, this question is open-ended, and I'm gonna kind of leave it at that point, because the point I'm trying to make here when it comes to pay, and this applies to any industry, is how bad do you want it? I mean, because you have architects that make tons of money and you have architects that make no money. At the end of the day, it's how bad do you want it, and what are you willing to do to get to that next level?
Whatever it takes.
When it comes to pay, it can range from a variety depending where you live, the type of work you're doing, and the experience. The American Institute of Architects has a salary calculator which you can see and play around with. You can select your state, the level of experience you have, and the anticipated salary that you're expected. Obviously, this varies based on the degree of experience that you have. More experience, more pay. Pretty self-explanatory. More qualifications, more pay. You get the idea. So basically, the better you are, the more money you get paid, which is kind of what I was saying earlier. So basically, if you work your butt off, you make tons of money. And that's with anything. So when it comes to pay, if you see ones that are making tons of money, they just situated themselves in better positions to move forward and worked harder, as opposed to the ones that do not work as well. This goes with any industry, so there's no right answer. Yes, architects generally get paid better than other industries. We're considered professionals, so they get paid a little more. Architects are in the same category as lawyers and doctors. They're considered professionals. So yeah, you're gonna get paid more, but you're gonna go to school and get the qualifications. So it's kind of you kind of get where I'm going. The end takeaway here for pay is the harder you work, the more money you're gonna make. So you can't go, oh, just because I'm gonna become an architect, I'm gonna make all this money. Same as people, oh, I'm gonna become a lawyer and make all this money. I know lawyers that make tons of money, and I know lawyers that make no money. At the end of the day, it's down to you, what you wanna do and how much you're willing to do to make it that way. So overall, yeah, architecture is a good career. I've been in it for almost 10 years of my life, which is a third of my life at this point. The joy for architecture comes within me, and I hope this provided some insight for you guys. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but if it did, drop a comment below, ask a question or two. I'm more than happy to answer your questions, guys. But at the end of the day, it's to provide more insight for you guys into whether or not to choose this career path. I couldn't see myself without it. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't going down this career path, and I don't regret it.
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
It's a lot of work. Nothing's easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And I think that's the big takeaway here is you need to find what's within you, why you want to go down this career path, and that will ultimately drive you during the hard times. And this goes for any career, whether it's this or another one. You need to figure out what works for you. Guys, if this video helped you, drop a like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, ask a question, man. I'm more than happy to help you guys. But at the end of the day, short answer is yes. I think architecture is a great career. I think everyone should at least experience it, because if you don't like doing this, it will provide insight how you want to do something else. It will open the door of possibilities, because a lot of times people go to become architects and they end up becoming interior designers, engineers, developers, whatever the case may be. But it opens the door of possibilities, which is, I think, is really cool and really important about this career path. You're not limited, and that's the really cool thing about it. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Adios, guys.